So, if you had seen the video we made earlier on this YouTube channel, you would have seen this post be mentioned quite a ton. It's Elliotte Friedman and his segment on NHL on TNT yesterday, Sunday, March 1st. Happy March to all of y'all. Also, look at Elliotte Friedman's physical media collection, books and whatever have you. That's pretty awesome. But anyways, this clip on the NHL on TNT program had some really interesting information when it comes to the Detroit Red Wings. And I wanted to refer to a post made by Ryan on Twitter that dives into some of these pieces of info. Ryan, of course, is part of the Grindline podcast. Love those guys. I've been on their show a number of times. They do some very good work. And based off of what the tweet says, we have ourselves some scoops from Friedge himself. Friedman, while live on NHL on TNT, states that the Detroit Red Wings are believed to be in on both Vinnie Trocheck and Robert Thomas. It's going to be a long week. Now, I'll say this right here. You know the disclaimer is coming, but I'm recording this audio on the night of Sunday, March 1st. If by the time this video is public on YouTube and a trade has been made, either Robert Thomas or Vinnie Trocheck are no longer a part of the teams they are a part of this morning, then we have to make a video about it once those trades go down and once I wake up to see them. But for right now, as things stand, Vinnie Trocheck is the New York Ranger, and Robert Thomas is a St. Louis Blue. Here's the interesting thing about Robert Thomas, and we had just talked about this actually in the most previous video on this YouTube channel. The Robert Thomas trade price is absolutely insane. Elliotte Friedman reported on that program that the St. Louis Blues want the Quinn Hughes package or more for Robert Thomas. The Hughes package was a top prospect, a first-round pick, a young established player, and a B-level depth prospect or young player. That's a really big package, and that's not even acknowledging the fact that Robert Thomas controls his destination with the no-move clause. It's very possible that just like Ryan O'Reilly, he doesn't like big markets, so maybe that's why Friedman said that he doesn't think that Ryan O'Reilly nor Robert Thomas could go over to Montreal. But with the Detroit Red Wings, things may be a little different. Thomas does have the ability to decide where he gets traded to. It's just going to cost a lot. It's funny because I know a lot of Wings fans were hypothesizing their own hypothetical Quinn Hughes trade packages. Once that Quinn Hughes trade was made between Vancouver and Minnesota, we had a bunch of Red Wings fans stepping in and saying, hey, if Quinn Hughes went for Marco Rossi, Zeev Buium, Liam Ogren, and a first-round pick, what could Detroit have given up? And you think about the guys that are in the Red Wings system, you think about the names, the prospects, and what have you. Obviously, there are some younger dudes that fit the bill to potentially replace the value of a Liam Ogren or a Marco Rossi even. Marco Kasper might be in that conversation. Nate Danielson, you can toss his name in there too. First-round pick is a first-round pick, but then you also have yourselves the top prospect on D, either a Simon Edvinsson or an Axel Sandin Pellikka. I know a lot of Red Wings fans would have been more accepting of an ASP trade rather than an Edvinsson trade if it were Quinn Hughes coming back over. But Robert Thomas is a little bit different. If you're not necessarily getting a defenseman back, I don't know really if Red Wings fans would be interested in seeing an Edvinsson or an Axel Sandin Pellikka go in a deal for Thomas. Heck, I don't even know if it's likely that some of these other names like a Kasper or a Danielson or what have you would be of interest for Red Wings fans to be trading away. But then again, it's not about what the fans think, it's about what the GMs want to trade for. And if St. Louis is interested in that particular kind of package, then maybe Stevie Y will have to tap out here. It seems like it could be a bit much. Robert Thomas is 26 years old, right-handed center, signed on till the end of 2031, making $8.125 million a year. He's got 35 points in 43 games, on pace for 53 points over 65, so he had already missed some games here and there. And he's coming off of 2 back-to-back 80-plus point years, with last year's 81 points coming in only 70 games played. He also was a power play point per game player in the playoffs, so obviously there was a lot to like out of Robert Thomas the past 36 months or so. This season has been a down one for everybody on St. Louis, essentially, so it's hard to fully analyze Thomas and say that he's washed because of the lower production this year. Meanwhile, if you head over to the New York Rangers and Vinnie Trocheck, this is a guy that is 32 years old, 5'11", signed till the end of 2029, making $5.625 million a year. So yeah, he is older than Robert Thomas by 6 years, but he is a little bit cheaper. He's also signed for 2 fewer years compared to Thomas. Vinnie Trocheck this season has 38 points in 45 games, on pace for 57 points. While it's true that Robert Thomas had higher highs with multiple 80-point years, Vinnie Trocheck is no slouch himself. 77 points in 82 games just 2 seasons ago. Things started to go downhill for the Rangers the years after, but that season in 2024 saw Vinnie Trocheck still put up 20 points in 16 playoff games for the Rangers. A very legitimate playoff producer. The issue is, of course, time. Trocheck is 6 years older than Thomas, so if you want to extend your cup window further into Dylan Larkin's later years, maybe Robert Thomas is a much more valuable piece. But at the same time, because Trocheck is older, you could definitely say that he is not going to be as expensive compared to Robert Thomas, whose asking price is somewhat similar to the Quinn Hughes trade package, reportedly speaking. Vinnie Trocheck, I do not think, will be able to demand as much in a trade. It's not going to be, a Marco Rossi, young center, another young prospect, a top-tier guy, plus a first, plus a B-tier prospect. Like, you're looking at maybe Trocheck for a first, and maybe a nice prospect. That's about it. I really don't think that Vinnie Trocheck is going to be super valuable compared to a Robert Thomas. So if Detroit is interested in either one, you can really take your pick here, but hey, it seems like both of them are persons of interest for the Detroit Red Wings and Steve Yzerman. I don't know what was worse, JMB said. This or all the Quinn Hughes rumors? Ryan says that I'd argue this is way worse. It's all over the place at this point. According to insiders, the Red Wings are 100% in on Thomas, Trocheck, Pettersson, Myers. Anyone else? None of these insiders know anything. So, yeah, I think that's a pretty accurate way to describe Detroit Red Wing fan sentiment at the moment. Everybody is linked to the Wings. Any center, any right-handed defenseman, it's Tyler Myers, it's Thomas, it's Trocheck, it's Pettersson, it's Rasmus Ristolainen, it's whomever, it's Justin Falk. Maybe you can get Falk and Robert Thomas in the same deal. Who really knows? Is that possible? I don't know. But with all that said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about these Detroit Red Wings trade updates? Big news from Elliotte Friedman linking Detroit to 2 centers on middling teams in the NHL. Thoughts on Thomas? Thoughts on Trocheck? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on. And bye.